What a lovely day to be Prime Minister. A working class person has appeared.
Hello, Mrs. Prime Minister. I am a working class person. Climbing career and property ladders has never been a priority nor an option for me. Can you explain to me why somebody in my position should vote for your party?
Goodness gracious, woman, I don't have time for this nonsense. Home Secretary, deal with this. The Home Secretary has appeared. Look, you, my party will always do what is best for people struggling to make ends meet. But Mrs. Home Secretary, due to decisions made by your party, I and many like me can't make ends meet. I work in the NHS, which means I, along with all other public sector workers, have only had a 1% pay increase in 5 years, and that being below inflation makes it a pay cut in real terms, especially as we're taking on the workload of the hundreds of thousands of workers who have been laid off. Every day in my job, I see the impact of these cuts in the lives of my patients, who are being sidelined and mistreated by the Conservative Party approach to social care. Why is there no one to help me turn over or get to the toilet?
Why do the Tories borrow so much more than Labour and still spend less on public services?
Meanwhile, rent prices are out of control and Tory policy continues to exacerbate that problem in a number of ways. Homelessness has doubled under this government as a direct result of these impossible rents, and I myself have had to move to the roughest part of town to afford rent, meaning my children are growing up in an area saturated with drugs and crime, a culture which Tory austerity has helped to nourish.
Well, to that I would say, judge us by our record. It is a strong record of creating and maintaining an economy that works for the richest in society while making life increasingly harder the less you earn. Although the record shows that we have borrowed far more money than Labour, you are quite right, we have always kept that money away from your public services. For us it is not important to ensure that we provide good services, only that we are turning a profit. For example, we will ensure that private healthcare providers that our MPs and peers are invested in are able to win NHS contracts, even if that means you lose out on vital services you thought your taxes were paying for. That is a pattern which plays out across the board where my party's outsourcing of your public services is concerned, whatever the detriment to the quality of the service. And we are prepared to make those sacrifices for profit because our ideology is that the poorest in society are in that position as a consequence of their own decisions, so there is no social responsibility to provide a safety net for one another. That's why we are untroubled by the thousands of deaths resulting from our cuts, and the hundreds of thousands more who have suffered as a result of underfunded services. We believe that was what was best for those members of our society who weren't prepared to make securing wealth their primary focus in life. As a working class person, if you want to feel like you're working towards anything more than just keeping your family off the streets, may I advise you that my party is not the party for you. Well, that puts me in a right properties. I can see that another 5 years of this is the realest threat currently facing me and my family. But the papers say that the alternative don't stand a chance, or that they'll bungle the important Brexit negotiations.
Yes, well, those same papers are owned by corporations who have my party in the palm of their hand and stand to benefit from the tax breaks and other rewards we will provide if we win this election. Historically, they have said whatever needs to be said to ensure the outcome of an election and have been unabashed about admitting to that, and this time is no different. One very good way of manipulating voters is by telling them that the outcome of the election is a foregone conclusion, and another is to say that the opposition don't know what they're doing, whether these things are the case or not. And as for this Brexit of yours, it might be worth bearing in mind that much of your employment law is EU law. Perhaps your little Brexit would look rather different if handled by a party with a consistent record of making workers' rights a priority, and that is not my party. My party's priority will always be protecting the profits of those at the top of corporations, regardless of the well-being of the workers.
Bloomin' heck, this is a lot of food for thought. Maybe you two should quit government and open up a food bank. Hey, that's where the business is truly booming after all.
I have had quite enough of this. My diamond slippers are all scuffed. Home Secretary, let's go shoe shopping.
Hey, look, reckon you could pick up some school shoes for my kids while you're out? While you lot have been planning £3 billion worth of tax breaks for the richest in society, my tax credits have been cut to the point where the luxury of basic everyday provision for the needs of my family is no longer within our means.
Out! Out! Get out, Home Secretary!
Tory, Tory murder.